Another battle between Lenorm and Coolest Guy. I'm going to use their names that I know them as because all these people keep changing their god dang names on Steam. Superb Fairy Wren is Lenorm. Aerodactyl is Coolest Guy. Beastman versus Nurgle. And let's do it. For the Beastmen, we have 5 Ungor Raiders, as you must versus Nurgle. You need them. Archers. 5 Ungor Spearman Herds, 2, including the Destroyers of the Drakwold. 1 Tuskor Chariot in case of armored infantry. A bunch of melee Centigors, 3 of them. 3 Throwing Axe Centigors. 1 Razorgore Herd for more arm piercing. Morgar the Shadowgave with his Spawn Summons, and Abrasion Wilds with just a Mantle of Gorok, interestingly enough. The other side for Nurgle, we have Marauders of Nurgle, Chaos Warriors of Nurgle across the entire front line, a mix of those guys. We have Kugath Plaguefather with the Frolickers Bubonic, and then Plague Drones of Nurgle and Chaos Knights of Nurgle in the woods. And for Kugath, we just have Fleshy Abundance for his heal. And in the distance, we do have 1 Chaos Warhound of Poison. The Tuskor Chariot was trying to Cycle Charge. It's not taking a lot of damage for its efforts, so that's good, but it's not dealing a ton of damage back to the Marauders either, so got a bit of a sad note for that. Marauders of Nurgle get caught up by the Centaurs. They will get charged, taking a ton of damage, and Archers are firing it onto Chaos Warriors. Meanwhile, the Plague Drones of Nurgle are having a bad time flying into all these Archers and throwing axes. Looks like they're going to back off a little bit, maybe even going to wait for a Fleshy Abundance. There it is from Kugath himself. Chaos Knights come streaming out of the woods, already routing one of the Ungor Spearman Herds, and Centaurs countercharge, but Centaurs are not going to do a lot of damage to the Chaos Knights. That heavy armor is just way too much for them to get through. Chaos Warriors already chasing down some of the Ungor Raiders. Beastmen are going to have to reprioritize stuff to push them off. 1 Marauder is shattered, another Marauder's taking a bunch of damage, but the Chaos Warriors will be a tougher nut to crack. Throwing Axes and Archers all focusing down onto Kugath where they can over here. And while that is a good target, I worry about those Chaos Knights being in such close proximity to Throwing Axes. Looks like Razorgores will try to intercept those guys while the Throwing Axes fall back. Kugath's taken about almost half of his hit points from those Archers, so that's really good focus fire. But the flanking dogs are here. Do any of the Centaurs with Throwing Axes realize they are here and just charge them quickly in melee, kill them off nice and easy? Looks like they might. They have movement orders right now, not attack orders. The dogs are going to pile in. That's going to be a really good moment for Nurgle. On the other side, Chaos Fairies of Nurgle. Where were you at? Okay, whatever. Missed these guys. Chaos Fairies of Nurgle helping to push off the Archers, chase Centaurs down, and man, these Chaos Warriors are just super annoying for the Beastmen to deal with at this moment. Dogs having a tough time getting real DPS out as the Centaurs Throwing Axes have gotten away. Fecundity is even popped onto the Chaos Knights and Plague Drones? No, it looks like it just spread to the Chaos Knights for now. I bet Nurgle's not super happy about that. There it gets the Plague Drones at last. Centaurs finally push off those dogs. Chaos Knights taking a lot of damage. Plague Drones have gotten so much healing that I actually wonder where their healing cap is already. Mantle of Gorok has popped onto the Razorgore Herds, gives them 64 melee attack as they plow into the Marauders of Nurgle. I guess I'm betting the Beastmen wish that was a Chaos Warrior to have all those stats, but oh well, you get what you get, huh? Plague Drones of Nurgle still an annoyance for the Beastmen, though it hasn't looked like much of a problem, just an annoyance. And Centaurs running around on the top field. Looks like they're going to charge the Chaos Knights again, hoping to get any little damage out they possibly can, but it's not really going anywhere. Tuskor Chariots still charging around. They're doing their best. Morgar the Shadowgave. Have you used either of your spawn summons? Nope. There's 2 Chaos spawn summons still available, I bet. Bet the Beastmen are feeling all right. That is just a metric shit ton of infantry they're going to have to kill. Oof baboof. Centaurs continue to charge at the dogs and the Chaos Knights. Those Throwing Axes actually have a lot more ammunition than I would have thought at this point in the game, because they've been, I feel like I've been watching them throw forever, but their ammo's just going nowhere. Chaos Furies gonna come back here and attempt to do something, though. If they ever land, those Centaurs will be all over them and just kill them off. Fleshy Abundance used for the Chaos, keep them alive. The Throwing Axes continue to be a pain for those poor guys. And there the Furies have landed. These Centaurs are going to rear charge them, and that's going to be bye-bye Chaos Furies. Demonic instability comes for us all. Chaos Knights of Nurgle are almost heal capped, though they have done good work in their time on this earth. Throwing Axes still harassing the Plague Drones, so I don't see their healing cap yet. And what is happening here? A Mantle of Gorok onto the Chariots. Very interesting. Looks like they're going to try and rear charge the Chaos Warriors, but they get distracted by these other Marauders of Nurgle. Yeah, it's not really working out. Furies are gone. Archers still getting pushed back by the Plague Drones of Nurgle, and the Centaurs with Throwing Axes are spending most of their time up here. I think they're still trying to throw at those Chaos Knights, but it just doesn't seem to be working in the woods that well. Archers are back. Plague Drones are on top of them. Kugath is once again the target of all these Throwing Axes. He's going to take a bit of damage. His Chaos Warriors are here to do some damage to Centaurs, but Centaurs don't really care. They can just get out of here when they want to. Chaos Warhounds route yet again for Nurgle. Any more and those guys will shatter. And all of a sudden the Beastmen are feeling a little alone in the world. All their archers are being pushed off the map right now. Throwing Axes are their last range tool to take down Kugath. Morker still has both spawn summons, right? He has the... He even has the one he can't control, which is surprising considering how much stuff around him has been close to death. There we go. Throwing Axes maybe going to finish off the Chaos Knights at last. Get some sub 1000 HP. And there they rout. Beastmen have been trying to do that forever. Okay. Chariot's still running around just trying to be annoying to these Chaos Warriors. Doesn't seem to be working too good. Fleshy Abundance for Kugath is brutal. And the last melee Centaur in the area is going to go try and rear charge some Plague Drones as archers attempt to fire, but for now we're just walking into melee because ranged units are silly. And I think a Mantle of Gorok was trying to get thrown onto these guys. I think that's why the Bright Shaman of Wilds is here. Anyway, Throwing Axes come out of the woods. They throw downhill at Kugath Plaguefather. Morgur is perfectly fine, just fighting him. I bet he probably even chucks down the Chaos Spawn Summon soon here. But the Throwing Axes want a clear line of sight. What is getting cast right now? Mantle of Gorok onto Morgur? Why? That seems like a waste, but okay. Centaurs and Ungor Spearman herds in the trees, just chasing off those Chaos Knights and dogs and shit. First Chaos Spawn Summon is out. Morgur's taking a lot of damage as Throwing Axes try and cover him from Kugath, but he might have overextended. There is the healing cap coming in hot, though. Big boy is at half HP, and he only has half a health bar left to go for healing, even possibly. Plague Drones of Nurgle trying to fight archers and Centaurs. It is not going their way, considering their cost, of course. I think, what are they, 1100, 1150? Don't remember. Centaurs and Chariots kiting around trying to kill off the Chaos Warriors. Morgur is vibing for now, not dead yet. Not dead just yet. Still has his second summon, the one that he can't control at all. The Plague Drones at last kill off that archer, but that might be the last thing they do. One leadership keeping them away from that demonic instability. I'll keep their unit card up here so we can see what ends up happening with them that way. Meanwhile, the Throwing Axe Centaur is coming back for another shot at Kugath. Another Mantle of Gorok on to Morgur? Really? But why? That just seems really aggressive, but whatever. Throwing Axes chucked in. Plague Drones of Nurgle did beat the Centaurs. As we can see, again, I kept their unit card up, so they are still technically alive. But technically is just about it, because they are super close to demonic instability crumbling. Kugath took another nasty volley. If he has any healing left, though, the Beastmen are going to be super sad. Because he can get back up to 3/4 HP, which is going to be a lot of their precious Throwing Axes. Oh, and he gets a Fleshy Abundance just as I mentioned that. Chariots are also pushed off. The Beastmen have seen better days. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit as the Centaurs and Throwing Axes kite out the Marauders of Nurgle. These are just Marauders, so they could even charge in if they wanted to. Morgur is tanking it up like a goddamn boss. Kugath eventually does Kugath things and pushes him off. Beastmen rout off those Chaos Warriors that were isolated. Morgur is getting chased, still regenning up, still trying to be healthy and happy. The Centaurs find a way back in. Kugath is healing capped. The Plague Drones of Nurgle are out there. They're very injured. Bounce power is danger low for the Beastmen, getting close to Army Loss's territory. And the Frolickers Bubonic They're trying to follow Morgar all the way off the map as the throwing axes just litter Kugath's body, doing so much damage to him. He's down to sub half HP. And how we're doing here? Marauders, a Chaos Warrior that's rather damaged, a Chaos Warrior that's healthy considering what's going on. And a Fecundity is popped for these infantry here. If it spreads to that Marauder, that'd be pretty huge for the forces of Nurgle. But it doesn't. Okay. Just helps out that Chaos Warrior. Throwing Axe is still punishing Kugath. No ammo left on one, 2 on another, 3 on the final. And Morgar manages to rally in the face of the Frolickers Bubonic. I think they started stalking. I think they somehow weren't touching him anymore, so they started stalking, but it's very silly that he's back. Kugath getting quite low. As Centaur's throwing axes throw at literally point-blank range. Call to violence, keeping Morgar in the fight. What do we have? 2 volleys, 1 volley. Okay, just 1 volley left. Kugath is so close to demonic instability crumbling. But the Bray Shaman of Wilds is dead. Beastmen are still very down to the balance of power. What is this in the distance? Oh, a full health Chaos Warrior of Nurgle is back. Oh, okay, we didn't see him. We didn't see him at all. Throwing axes use the last of their ammo onto Kugath. He's down to 500 HP. Demonic instability crumbling. Should start any second now. There it is as the Centaurs downhill charge him. Morgar continues to battle out against the Frolickers Bubonic, who have almost heal capped from their Blisterback passive. They're going to start Demonic Instability crumbling, and that is terrible. That is terrible for the Beastmen right now. One of their main strengths is Morgar has his second Chaos Spawn summon, which is about to burn on these fucking randoms at the worst time. Because he needs it to go fight these Chaos Warriors for all of its duration, and if it spawns out here in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, most of its summon time is going to be spent walking over to the fight. So that's really brutal for the Beastmen. Balance power is getting better for them, but I think that the proccing of this Chaos Spawn here and now is really, really bad. Plaguelords of Nurgle are spending their time chasing the Wildscaster around. But the spawn, look how far they have to walk to go do anything, and that timer's just ticking down. He's already lost most of its time. That's such a tragedy. The Wildscaster might actually be rallied as the Plague Drones are about to die off. Marauders getting chased around by the Centaurs. Centaurs pile into the healthy Chaos Warrior as the Chaos Spawns still try to reach the fight. They have 30 seconds left to be alive, and they have done literally nothing. They get here, pile in, 17 seconds left on their timer. Beastmen are up on the balance of power. Chaos Warriors are going to rout, but there go the spawn. More Marauders also routing. And can these 2 healthy-ish Chaos Warriors of Nurgle carry versus the Beastmen's 2 wounded Centaurs, 1 healthy Centaur, Morgar almost heal capped, and an Ungor Spearman herd that is barely worth mentioning as it is so injured and so low. Rear charge from the Centaurs in onto the Chaos Warriors does pretty good damage. On the other side, a rear charge doesn't do very much damage at all. The Chaos Warriors are just trying to link up at this point. They want to be side by side. They don't want to be isolated at all. Shattered. Those Centaurs will be coming back soon. More Centaurs charging downhill into our Chaos Warriors friends, and that charge actually got pretty decent damage. Everything's relative now, right? Morgar is almost heal capped, and he's fighting some Chaos Warriors. I'm sure the Chaos Warriors don't really mind taking that fight too much, but a rear charge from the Centaurs might tax their already bad leadership. Call to violence is going to keep Morgar and the Centaurs in the fight, though it's not like they were really at risk of running away. It's Chaos Warriors and Nurgle who are in trouble at this point. A little bit of fast forwarding as we get some cycle charges. The Chaos Warriors trying to link up, but one of them does break, which will allow Beastmen to just chase them off the battlefield. Chaos Warriors and Nurgle forcing Morgar to stay in the fight, but this cycle charging will take them out soon. And it is a comeback victory for the Beastmen. Morgar, 460 value. That's kind of why I questioned the Mantle of Gorok spam on him, because he's just not going to do anything in melee anyway, so what's the point? Didn't love that. I like the use of the spell overall, just not those 2 casts onto Morgar, but Centaur's throwing axes, 2,000 value piece is insane, but it's versus Nurgle, so yep, that tracks. The mobility elements got a ton of damage value out. The archers struggle to get their damage value back because the coolest guy ran them all down so well. The Spearman herd also got wrecked. For coolest guy, Kugath did not get a lot of value. Chaos Knights did okay. Dogs and the Frolickers Bubonic did great. Plague Drones also did not get a lot of value. Furies did not get a lot of value. Chaos Warriors overall did pretty darn well, and the Marauders of Nurgle did pretty well. GG. Roar! Subscribe, yes, yes.